Auzubillahi minash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. As-salatu was-salam ala rasulihil kareem. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Allahumma 'allimni ma yanfa'uni wanfa'ni bima 'allamtani wa zidni ilma. This is going to be the first video of the online course The Mystic Who Created Modern Science, Jabir bin Hayyan. So this is going to be part of the first module, and we are dealing with the introduction. And let us first understand, why is studying Islamic scientific history important? Why do it? Why study the golden age of Islam? So this historical period, which is popularly known as the golden age of Islam, why is it so significant? Why should we study it? What are the benefits of studying something like this? Firstly, one has to realize that this is by far one of the most significant periods in history, which has a significant influence on modern history, on our modern world. So even if it were just from a historical perspective, purely a secular historical perspective, that we would want to know, how did we come here? How did we arrive at this postmodern world with our technology, with the kind of worldview that we have, with the kind of perspectives that we have in education, in trade, in science, in technology, in politics, even in geopolitics, whatever. How did we arrive here? We need to understand the period that is popularly known as the golden age of Islam. We need to understand from the start, from the inception of Islam till the rise of the Western civilization. From an Islamic perspective, this has various important points. This has a beautiful message for the modern Muslim in various ways, and we're going to get into that. From a purely, you could say, an Islamic perspective, this is by far one of the most significant periods to understand Islam, the application of Islam, the evolution of Islam as an ideology, as a philosophy, as something that manifested itself in world trade, or the formation of a truly international civilization, which is the Islamic civilization. Also from our perspective, because we are interested in science, in particular the different disciplines in science, this is by far the most significant, the most important period to understand how all of the sciences that we consider a part of this general topic of science and technology, how all of those sciences were developed, how did they reach their maturation the way we find them today. So how science, philosophy and religion can coexist. This is another point of the importance within this topic that we are discussing. What is the importance of studying the golden age of Islam? From purely from the perspective of understanding how science, philosophy and religion can coexist harmoniously. Just from that perspective, if we take these 800 or 900 years of Islamic history into perspective, it's going to make much more sense. Because why? Particularly because in this period of time, the golden age of Islam, you had science, you had philosophy, you had religion, not only coexisting, but also being interdependent for their development, for their evolution. So they were literally complementary in their development, in their evolution into the sciences that we still study today. So people, students, Muslims who study religious sciences like Kalam or even fiqh or the Quran or the Usul sciences, they would be aware that in the golden age of Islam, the development of those sciences cannot be taken as an independent process, independent of the development of philosophy, independent of the development of science within the Muslim world. So we have in the golden age of Islam a perfect model of how religion, science and philosophy can coexist, and not only coexist, be interdependent for like a very productive discourse in understanding in the human, the place of the human being in the world. Let's get into that in detail. Also, another point, to address modern challenges of Muslims. The most sinister challenge to modern Muslims is ideological. That is the toughest challenge that there is. When your ideology, your perspective as a Muslim is being challenged and is being called, a collection of just folklore, something that does not belong to the modern world, something that cannot be verified. This is the ideological challenge that has been posed to all religions in particular, but Islam the challenge is focused on Islam for various reasons. So in order to address these modern challenges that modern Muslims face, the ideological challenge, that is the particular challenge that we're talking about, the most crucial one, we need to go back to the golden age of Islam. We need to understand how did early Muslims deal with their challenges, the challenges of that time. How did they use the Quran? How did they use the Hadith? What methodology did they use to address ideological challenges that they were faced with from within, factions from within? So you had rationalists at that time, the Mu'tazilite. From the outside, so you had the philosophers who were taking Greek philosophy and trying to interpret Islam through that lens. So the golden age of Islam is by far the most important subject of study for modern Muslims for various reasons, and one of which is to address modern challenges that modernity poses to Islam, most of which are ideological.